All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you here at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. I can't wait. I'm about ready to dive into the delicious lunch buffet here at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. You got to get down here if you are in and around Central New York. It is only $9.95. You get a soda or a coffee with that as well. And make sure you come on down for lunch and grab other entrees, burgers, wings, wraps, you name it, turkey club, mac and cheese, you name it. They've got it here. Appetizers here are tremendous. As I just mentioned, apps. They've got it all here, I'm telling you. And you can come watch the races up on all the screens here, and you can bet next door at the OTB as well. Saratoga, of course, winding down. Next week is it. Monday, Tuesday, your dark days this week. They'll race Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that'll do it for Saratoga. So really look forward to seeing you down here at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. Make sure you also check out the not only lunch buffet, but the Sunday brunch, which is from 7 a.m. until 1 p.m. All right, let's talk Andrew Luck. There's been so many different hot takes about Andrew Luck going around. National media, indie media, Dan Dakich on Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen, John Middlecoff, Colin Cowherd, Clay Travis, you name it, Michael Wilbon, Tony Kornheiser. Here's Mike Lindsley's take. My take is good for Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck has a dual engineering degree from Stanford. Andrew Luck is probably the smartest guy in the room 9 out of 10 times when you walk in. Andrew Luck has also a cool $75-80 million in the bank. Granted, he probably gave up $250 to $300 for his next contract and about $30-35 million a year annually with a bunch of signing bonus money. But he did get the original signing bonus money from the Indianapolis Colts, so he's got a bunch of millions in there with that. And then, of course, he's got the money that he's already made. This guy is going to be fine. He's a multi-millionaire 10 times over, and he's got that degree. He loves to travel. He loves being, in science and engineering. He loves books. He's very well spoken. He will land somewhere doing something. He could be doing multiple things. He could dive into business. I mean, this guy could do whatever the hell he wants. And the most important thing is, look, playing football is a lot like what you eat for breakfast, what you eat for lunch, what you eat for dinner, what kind of golf clubs you use, what kind of car you drive, what kind of job you have, what kind of hobbies you have. If you put brown mustard or something else on a hot dog, football's the same way. What kind of weights you use, how heavy the workouts that you do are. It's what's good for you. It doesn't matter what I do. It's what's good for you. What you do is something maybe that I don't do. What everybody else does out there is something that maybe both of us don't do. So with Andrew Luck, he basically did what was good for Andrew Luck, and I applaud him for that, simply based upon the fact that he was really getting the wear and tear physically and also mentally. Remember, rehabbing all of those injuries, when you look at the kidneys, you look at the ribs, you look at the shoulder multiple times, and now this latest injury, which we don't even know about of Andrew Luck, is it the leg? Is it the calf? Is it an Achilles? Is it a hamstring? Is it a combination of a couple of those things? We don't know. But with Andrew Luck, he's gone through rigorous rehab over and over and over again. This guy has pissed blood. This guy has had awful, probably depression from a mental state as well. It's the physical toll and it's also the mental toll. And obviously getting ready for a football season this year was just a little bit too much. Him retiring a week, however, before the NFL season, obviously we were all shocked. I think as John Middlecoff said on his pod, and as I thought as well, as I was driving home from Saratoga on Sunday, I thought to myself, you know what? I was shocked by it, but now as more things have come out, Chris Ballard, the GM, talking, the owner Jim Irsay talking, other players talking, Andrew Luck talking, the bites, media, etc. All the things here that you have to kind of size up and put together in this Andrew Luck retirement puzzle, the more it makes sense, the more it isn't really a huge surprise. It was a stunner in the beginning because obviously he's a prime quarterback playing the most important position in all of sports. The Indianapolis Colts are a real team on the rise. When you think about the Colts, this team with Andrew Luck, you thought about, okay, 29, 30-year-old quarterback, you've got a bunch of offensive weapons. They remade the offensive line behind Quentin Nelson. They've got a bunch of dynamic superstars on defense, and they've got a tremendous head coach with a great IQ in Frank Reich. Their GM, Chris Ballard, is a whiz. This Colts team was on the rise for sure. I think they have a long way to go with Jacoby Brissett. I'm not as high on him as many others, but maybe he'll prove me wrong. I'm not really sure. But with Andrew Luck in there, there, that's the big difference maker. The quarterback in the NFL makes such a big difference. It's a 3 to 5 win swing. Look at when Aaron Rodgers is out for the Green Bay Packers. Look at when Andrew Luck was out, then comes back with the Indianapolis Colts. They all of a sudden make the playoffs, and he's a comeback player of the year. Look at the New England Patriots. Years back when Tom Brady goes down, the argument from people who are anti-Patriots was, oh, well, even Matt Castle can win 11 games in that system. Well, yeah, but they missed the playoffs and didn't win the division. If Tom Brady were in there, he would have won 13 or 14 games. They would have won the division, probably gotten home field, and gone back to the Super Bowl. So it's just unbelievable. The quarterback position means so much in this sport, obviously with teams like Oakland for years, and the Bills for years, and the Jets for years, and the 49ers for years after the Steve Young era. You look at the situation going on now, an absolute huge question mark going on with the Tennessee Titans. Is Marcus Mariota going to be the right guy? Now they're facing the same problems in Tampa with Jameis Winston. The quarterback position is enormous. Andrew Luck being out obviously hurts them, but from a Colts perspective, they've got to move on. They've got to try and get some pieces, help Jacoby Brissett, maybe go draft somebody in the NFL draft upcoming this spring as well. But as you start to piece things together, post-shock, post-surprise with Andrew Luck, it all really does make sense. All I know is that all in all, this guy is a multi-millionaire over and over and over again. He made a decision to clear his mental health. He can spend all the time now in the hot tub. He can spend time in the cool tub. He can try to nurture his body and feel physically better. His mind is free now from any challenges of trying to rehab, having to go through awful extra injuries in the future. Those are not going to happen now because he's not going to be getting his ass beat in by all these defensive players. And oh, by the way, the last few years, if you look at the metrics, Andrew Luck was hit more in the NFL than anybody else, more than any other quarterback, more than any other running back, more than any other receiver. This guy got absolutely shit pumped by defensive players because the offensive line was so bad. And oh, by the way, my two final thoughts on this. One, shame on the Indianapolis Colts for being such a shitty front office for years and not helping Andrew Luck out. Their offensive line was such a disaster that created a lot of these injuries for Andrew Luck. That's number one. I mean, think about Ryan Grigson when they hired him as a general manager. He's easily one of the top 3 to 5 worst general managers in NFL history. The second one that I wanted to point out is that the Colts and Andrew Luck, to a certain extent, they've completely lied for years about his injuries. Now, I don't know how much of Andrew Luck's bullshitting had to do with the Indianapolis Colts telling them, hey, here's the script, stick to it. Just say you're just going to practice, you're going to be ready for week 1, etc. Was that the case in 2017 when he said he'd be ready and then he didn't even take a snap? I don't know, but both sides have been bullshitting us forever in terms of these injuries, and now we finally are not getting bullshit. We're getting the real story. Andrew Luck is just too hurt. He's too physically exhausted. He's too mentally exhausted to go through another layer of these injuries, no matter what the money is. He's got the education, dual engineering from Stanford. He's got an unbelievable wherewithal of probably what he wants to do. He loves to travel. He loves to read. He could go into business, and he is happy now. He cleared himself physically and mentally from this mess that we call football in terms of injuries, CTE and all that stuff. Hopefully won't happen to him because he played such a short career. And in the end, I know Colt fans and were immature and assholes booing him and acting like little idiots and all that. No, there's a lot of people that are mad that he's retiring because they're huge fans and blah, blah, blah. Cry me a river. This guy made the right decision for himself. I applaud Andrew Luck. Mike Lindsley with you. It's 9 Minutes with me here on IGTV, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm about to dive into the lunch buffet at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. I am so ready to go. I love this buffet. Get on down here. It's $9.95 for a lunch buffet. It comes with a soda or a coffee. Drop by their Sunday brunch as well from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. and come on down, bet on the ponies next door at the OTB. Get some great beverages on tap in the bottle and in the can and take some desserts to go as well. The Phoenix Sports Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the ML Sports Platter. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.